Very convincing in Stockholm, a game you watched last night.
Yes, I mean, AIK hit the post after 3 minutes, and look, I have to say, I'm not convinced with Celtic at the back. A patched up back line again, but this goal, a wonderful reverse pass from Edouard, and Forrest took it very well, and then the pressure was off. I actually thought that was a really soft penalty. Yes, Bolingoli got wrong side, and then, did it give AIK a little bit of hope? I mean, it sort of did, but a long way to go. And Celtic scored immediately after this. Mikey Johnson, who I think is going to be a big player for Celtic this season. He's cemented his place on that left-hand side. Keeper has an absolute shocker there. And then you think, it was pretty plain sailing for Celtic, but they have major issues at the back. Eye going off early on. Ralston came on, and I don't think he covered himself in glory. Scott Brown should have scored that. Julian, just tapped it in, but I mean, it was done before then.
Some scoreline on the road, isn't it? 4-1 in the end.
Yeah, and credit to Celtic. And where you have to give Celtic credit is after Cluj, there was so much doom and gloom, and the pressure really was on, and it was an accomplished display at home against AIK, and then away it was about seeing it through. So in that respect, put themselves under pressure, but job very, very well done against a team, though, who were a step down from Cluj.
And speaking of Cluj, they've got them again. They've also got Lazio and Rennes, and this was the reaction of Neil Lennon.
That's a great draw, got a couple of glamour games there, and obviously a chance to maybe exact some sort of retribution to Cluj as well. So yeah, we're delighted to be in there and delighted with the group. So a lot of big games to look forward to, which is exactly what we want.
Big games, some great trips as well for the fans.
Great for the fans, but I think looking at Neil there and listening to Neil there, he'll be delighted he's got Cluj again, because I think there was a lot of talking get done when they won at Celtic Park, so I think he'll be looking forward to that one. But it's a very, very tough draw, but one they're more than capable. But the home form is going to be so important, as I said. I agree with Chris. I think that the back line's got to be more solid. When you go in Europe, you have to keep clean sheets, and it's been unfortunate. Neil's had a lot of injuries in that department and had to make a few changes in near enough every game he's played, so it's been a bit unfortunate for him.
Revenge on the mind, clearly, against Cluj, but Lazio and Rennes.
Lazio finished 8th last season, Serie A, started the season well, won at the weekend against Sampdoria, but I actually think as top seeds go, that's not a bad run. I think Rennes are the real surprise package. Fantastic start to the season, beaten PSG already, Cavani, Mbappe and all, so they're going to be a threat. Sold the best player to Watford last season.
Ismail Assar.
Yeah, but they really pushed Arsenal. An exciting side. So tough group, but a group Celtic can qualify from.
Rennes are 3 out of 3 top of the French league as things stand.
Listen, we've had an issue in the past in Scotland. Sometimes you hear a side, you don't recognise some of the players, and you become a little bit ignorant to actually how good they are. But Neil Lennon will certainly know how good they are. First game away from home in Rennes will be a big test for Celtic.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for now. Still playing with the guys again in just a moment. We'll also talk more about this derby shortly, but now back to the top flight and the next instalment of the Old Firm. So here's the table points out of 9, and that's Celtic and Rangers. Livy back in third, also undefeated on 5 points. Killie and Hearts at the other end, both with just a point to their names. 5 games tomorrow as the Dons host the Staggies. The Jambos look for a first win v Hamilton. Livingston take on St Mirren. Motherwell play Hibs, and St Johnstone are up against Killie. On Sunday, the top 2 meet, and that's where we start the previews.
If the bookies think that Rangers are favourite, then good, that suits me fine. I don't know why, because our form has been fantastic and we're in goal scoring form and we're winning games convincingly, so it's not bad being the underdog with the way we're playing at the minute.
They're doing very well. They're scoring goals, they're winning football matches. I think they've only had one defeat this season. So yeah, I think they're coming into this derby in good form, in a good place, with confidence. You know, they qualified at ease over their 2 legs. It's got all the makings to be a fantastic tie. It's not going to change. You know, you've got 2 sets of players that are desperate to win. Of course, it's still early in the season, but there's an international break after this fixture, so the fixture comes with more importance, if you like, because if it doesn't go your way, you've got longer to stew over it, and that's not what you want to experience. You want to finish this block of fixtures off in a positive way, so we need to try and find that performance.
We get too hysterical too early, and it's almost like game to game. Every performance gets analysed to death, and you know, they say, is it a marker or a defining moment in the season? It's just, sorry, I'm not buying into that at all.
Both on a high after the midweek matches, but who has the upper hand going into this one, Chris?
I'm looking forward to this one. It could be absolutely anything. I haven't got a clue. You may say that's most of the time, but
yep, fair comment.
I think that I would give Rangers the edge, and I would give Rangers the edge based on Celtic's issues which they have with the back line, and I think Celtic have problems, and I think the blame lies with the board, and Celtic are taking a risk because they should have brought more players in. And when you think Celtic's key men, the likes of Edouard and James Forrest, you know, an injury to them, and it's absolutely catastrophic. You know, they've got big issues, Celtic, and they certainly need addressing. But if Rangers come onto them, as we expect, you know, Rangers will start on the front foot. Celtic do have that pace to really exploit them. You know, if Edouard's fit, it's a big deal. Mikey Johnson, Forrest, Christie, really good legs. So, I mean, it could be anything. But as things stand, I fancy Rangers to edge it, if you're asking me here and now.
In case you're wondering at home, there was no applause or booing for Chris's answer there. It was pretty fair throughout, I thought. But there are issues, aren't there, in that Celtic backline? I are hopeful, of course, and you hear Neil Lennon, they're hopeful he's going to make it, but Simunovic is a doubt as well. So who starts at the back?
That was interesting. I think Neil took that well when someone said Rangers were favourites for the game. I think both managers can feel justified that they should be favourites because both are in good form. Both managers at this stage of the season will have looked probably, you think, you know, back at the start of July when they started playing games. They will have known the international windows coming up. Stephen Gerrard touched on it. They will have known Europe finished on Thursday night or Wednesday night, depending on what competition they're in. They're both still in Europe. They both now want to be top of the league come this international break. So it's all set up for a cracking match. Rangers won 4-3 in aggregate last year over the 4 games. Won the 2 games at Ibrox.
9 points behind.
So does that potentially make them favourites for the game?
Win a trophy.
I'm talking about for the fixture, I'm not talking about for the title. So it may just give them a slight edge.
We're talking about the league and 2 cups. That maybe have been your issue.
Home advantage, clearly crucial last season, wasn't it, in the game?
Yes, it was, but I agree with Neil in the respect to that. Celtic are scoring goals. They've got top quality players who have been over the course before. But Rangers are closer now in the respect of the results and their performances. They're closer in that department because they've put a lot more consistency in the other games, which I think was Rangers' biggest downfall. But Celtic are still a very, very good side, and don't forget that. Yes, they have to make a few changes at the back now and again, as we say, they have to be more solid there. But it is a close call, this game. But I think Stephen's got to realise very quickly, and he played a lot of Liverpool derbies, you've got to win these games, no matter when they are, whether they get into a break or not, you have to win them.
Listen, the truth is, Rangers choked last season down the stretch. The last game was a dead rubber. You know, all the celebrations after meant absolutely nothing. They choked. It's a big game for Rangers. And if they don't win, there's going to be the questions.
There was a worry about Edouard the other night. It looks as if he's also going to be okay. But if he doesn't start, who's next in line up front at the moment?
It's Bio, isn't it? And, you know, with the best will in the world to Bio, I haven't seen loads of him. But you can't actually say that you know, Neil Lennon can absolutely trust him as ahead of Lee Griffiths in the pecking order. That tells you sort of where Lee Griffiths is at. But, you know, I'll go back to what I said earlier. Celtic, Peter Lawwell and the board are taking a risk by not backing their manager. And if Celtic want to win 9 and 10 in a row and compete in Europe, they need more players in. I mean, they may have to give a debut to the right back Bauer, who's, you know, a good athlete. I've seen him at Stoke, has played this season, but is at Celtic for a reason, and Stoke got rid of him for a reason. If he was that good to be in Stoke's team, he has to prove himself again. Doubts over Bolingoli. You know, this season his form, I think he's been steadier, and you know, Julian was okay the other night, but Celtic have issues at the back.
Let's run